Today we'll be discussing what a stress strain graph is, including each of its components, and additionally, we will use a stress strain graph as a guide to help us discuss the differences between an 18-year-old's tendons to an 80-year-old's tendons. Let's start with the basics. Stress in the simplest terms is the amount of pressure applied to an object or space. Stress can be calculated by the amount of force in newtons over the surface area, which is usually represented in meters squared. Now, strain is the amount of change in an object where it has stress applied to it. This can be calculated by the change in length divided by its original length times 100, and is always expressed as a percentage. Now that's covered, let's dive and discuss the 6 key components of the stress strain graph. The toe region is the starting point in the graph where the fibers are in a crimped state and being straightened out. The elastic region describes the stretch that an object can endure whilst under strain and be able to return back to its original length. This is where the Young's modulus is calculated by measuring the extent of this slope. A higher sloping line indicates a higher elastic modulus or Young's modulus, meaning that the object is more stiff. The yield point is where the slope of the graph starts to flatten. The yield point on the graph is the point which the material starts to give or tear. The plastic region is after the yield point, where continuous strain starts to cause further damage or tearing to the material, at which it is no longer able to return to its original shape. And finally, the failure point is where the material completely gives out and can no longer bear any more load. Usually, the material fractures or is torn, which leads to complete loss of all structural integrity. Tendons are fibrous connective tissues that connects muscles and bones together. Tendons are a complex structure made of many components, including collagen fibers, elastin, and ground substance. Tendons consist of high amounts of parallel running collagen fibers. These collagen fibers allow for strength and efficient transmission of forces from muscles to bone. Most of the collagen fibers within the tendon are type 1 collagen fibers, which are the strongest ones. Tendons also consist of elastin, which is crucial for contributing to elasticity of the tendon, which allows it to stretch further without causing any damage or tearing. Ground substance is a combination of water, glycosaminoglycans, proteoglycans, and glycoproteins that fill empty spaces within the tendon, providing with additional support and lubrication for the collagen fibers. There are many impacts that aging will have on your tendons. This includes decreased collagen synthesis, which decreases tendon strength, making them less flexible and more brittle. Additionally, immobilization can lead to the decreased cross-section area, which leads to the reduced strength and difficulty in weight-bearing activities. Individuals become less mobile as they get older. Thus, the combination of the effects of aging and immobilization combine to decrease strength and reduce flexibility, which will lead to an increased chance of injury in an aging person. Therefore, the reduction in strength and flexibility in older individuals is evident when comparing them to 18-year-olds' tendons on the stress strain graph. The 80-year-old has a smaller toe region due to the collagen fibers not being able to uncrimp as easy. The elastic region is also narrower due to the decreased availability of the fibers to stretch without damage. Additionally, the 80-year-old tendons will have a lower Young's modulus. The 80-year-old will have an earlier yield point due to the sooner damage caused by the decreased elasticity within the tendon. The 80-year-old will also have a sooner failure point in comparison to the 18-year-old, once again due to the decreased stretching ability and the weaker collagen fibers. Of course, this is generally speaking, and there are many other outliers and additional contributing factors which can impact the tendon's ability to undergo strain other than age. This includes previous injuries, diet, activity level, and medical conditions.